They taught you this in school. Napoleon was short, Vikings wore horned helmets, Einstein failed math. But what if I told you every single one of those facts is a lie? In this episode of History Got It Wrong, we're busting 3 of the biggest historical myths you still believe, and revealing a bonus one that completely flips what you thought you knew about one of history's darkest moments. Trust me, you'll never see these icons the same way again. Let's start with Napoleon, the so-called tiny tyrant. He's become the poster child for short men with big egos. There's even a psychological term, the Napoleon complex. But here's the truth. Napoleon Bonaparte was actually average height for his time. In fact, he measured about 5'7" or 1.69 meters, possibly taller depending on how you convert old French units. So, where did the short Napoleon myth come from? British propaganda. During the Napoleonic Wars, British cartoonists exaggerated his size to mock him, and those images stuck even centuries later. Funny thing? Napoleon was often seen with his imperial guard, elite soldiers over 6 feet tall. No wonder he looked short by comparison. But if you think this is the only costume history got wrong, just wait. Fierce, fearless, and wearing giant horned helmets. That's the image of a Viking burned into pop culture, but it's completely fictional. No Viking helmet with horns has ever been found by archaeologists, not one. So where did this idea come from? You can thank the 19th century opera scene. In 1876, Wagner's Ring Cycle was staged in Germany, and the costume designer decided Viking warriors needed horns. The audience loved it, artists copied it, cartoons exaggerated it, and boom! A myth was born. In reality, Vikings wore simple iron or leather helmets, if any at all. Horns on a helmet would have been totally impractical in battle, but here's the twist. This next myth is about a genius who supposedly couldn't pass algebra. Even Einstein failed math. It's a phrase teachers still throw around to encourage struggling students, but here's the kicker, it's not true, not even close. Einstein was exceptionally good at math from a young age. He mastered algebra and geometry by age 12. At 15, he was tackling calculus. The confusion started from a misinterpretation of his school grades. They used a reversed scoring system in Switzerland. And once the rumor spread, it stuck. Because people loved the idea of a genius who once struggled, just like them. But in Einstein's case, the numbers don't lie, and neither did he. Want a bonus myth? He didn't invent the theory of relativity in a patent office out of nowhere either, but we'll get to that in another episode. And since you stayed till the end, here's a bonus myth. Witches were burned at the stake in Salem. You've seen it in movies. Screaming crowds, crackling flames, witches tied to wooden posts. But here's the truth, no one was burned at the stake in Salem, not one. During the infamous Salem witch trials of 1692 in Massachusetts, 19 people were hanged, not burned. Another man, Giles Corey, was pressed to death, slowly crushed with heavy stones for refusing to enter a plea. So where did the fire come from? The idea of burning witches actually comes from European witch trials, especially in countries like Germany and Scotland, where fire was seen as a purifying punishment. Hollywood and pop culture took those images and merged them with the Salem trials, and the myth stuck. But in Salem, it was the noose, not the flames. So let's recap. Napoleon, average height. Vikings, no horns. Einstein, math wizard. Just because everyone repeats a story doesn't make it true. Which myth surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more truth bombs from History Got It Wrong. Next time, we'll bust 3 shocking myths about ancient civilizations, including one about the pyramids that Hollywood doesn't want you to know. Stay curious.